Hey class. So have you ever gotten a tie knot and not really known where to start? Or say you have tried to started tying a knot and by the end of it it just ends up in some big jumbled mess. That was definitely me a few months ago before I started my job at Davey Tree. At my job at Davey, we use knots on a regular basis, and a lot of them that I've learned there actually have come in quite handy in day-to-day life. So I'm going to show you a couple of those today. So if you have a minute, please go grab a rope and or a string, whatever you got, so you can follow along with the demonstration. All right, so I'm going to show you two knots today. The first is the sheets bend. The second is the bowline / running bowline. And then I'm also going to show you how to coil a rope properly. All right, so if you got your rope, take one end, and we're going to pretend we got two ropes here today. So reach way down your line of rope, and if you don't have a long rope, just bear with me. And hopefully you can kind of get the idea of following along. All right, so if you're down your rope, make a little bite. Bite's just kind of a fancy word for just a little loop in the rope. So you make your bite, and this would be your working end. So take your working end and go underneath it. And sorry, I forgot to mention, I'm going to be doing these myself backwards. So as I'm showing you this, it's going to be as if it's facing in front of you. So go underneath your bite, like so. And then you want to go around it, around the back of it. Let me pull this straight here. And then make another bite and send it back through your working end here. Sorry, this rope's a little stiff, so it's a little hard to work with. Then you pull it tight. So let me try to show you again. And let me pull out more slack so maybe it's easier to work with. Alright, so make a bite in the rope, like so. Take your working end, go underneath, around the bite, so now it should look like this, and then make another bite on this end, and then send it through this piece that my pinking's under here. And then once it's through that, hold your bite, your first bite you made, and pull down on the other end of your working end. And then pull it tight. So the nice thing about this knot is it's very easy to untie. So when you grab it, you just grab this tail end here, and it comes undone, and there you have two ropes, and you don't have to fiddle with trying to untie the ropes from each other. This really comes in handy. In my line of work, we use it when someone's up climbing a tree and they need another rope to lower something down. Having an easy rope to untie is really nice so that they don't have to fiddle around while they're uncomfortable up in the tree. In day-to-day life, it's just really nice. Say you're helping a friend move and you have to lower or raise stuff up into their apartment because they live on a second level and there's no way you're getting anything up the stairs. So say they got one rope and you need a second rope because you need to have two people lower a big couch down. Instead of running all the way up the stairs, just tie the rope on, send it straight up. You can quick untie and get back to work. And you don't have to fiddle around with trying to tie a knot or maybe even cutting the rope because the knot that someone tied to send it up is just impossible to untie. So now that we started off easy, we're going to go to the bowline/running bowline. So this knot's a little bit more complicated. This is definitely the knot that we probably use the most. It's a really good knot for working with really heavy loads. The nice thing about it is it can take this immense amount of weight and still be relatively easy to untie. Now I wouldn't take some piece of twine, tie this knot, and try to lower your couch out your window. A knot's only as strong as the rope that you're using to work with. Alright, so for the bowline, I'm going to show you the bowline first and then the running bowline. They're just kind of a similar knot. Alright, so for a bowline, you take your working end and you make a loop. Sorry, like so. When you make the loop, you want to make sure that your working end is on the top side of the loop, like so. And so, then you take this, the working end, and you go under the loop, under the other rope, wrap it around, and then follow your rope back through the hole, and then pull tight. And this knot, you can pull as hard as you want. You can even step on it, anything, and then it's still easy to untie. You just grab, you see how you got this little flange of rope here next to this other rope. If you grab the two of them and push them up through this knot, they both go through really easy, and then you can just untie it. Like I said, it's really nice because we use it at Davy, and we use it to lower logs that are like, thousands of pounds, and you can still untie the knot with your bare hands. You don't have to cut the rope. Now the other one is the running bowline. It's kind of like just like a fancy slip knot. So it's kind of the same thing, except, so you take your working end, remember, have the loop, working end on top of the loop. I'm going to pull a little bit more slack out to work with this one. So you take your loop. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit more slack, sorry. Remember, working end on top. Sorry, this one's a little harder to show on camera here. So working end on top. And then you go around the back side of your rope here. Like so. And then go underneath again. Go around. And then follow your rope back through. And pull tight. And then you got this nice loop here. Stick my arm through and pull tight. It's not going anywhere, and it's only going to get tighter. But like I said before, it's really easy to untie. So let me show that last one to you again. It was a little bit hard to see in the video, I know. So again, take your working end, make a loop, So your working end's on top. Go around the other end of the rope. Go underneath. Go under and around this here. And then back through your loop. Pull it tight. And there it is. Nice and tight. So now that we've learned those two knots, now it's time to coil the rope and put it away. Coiling the rope is something that it doesn't require a whole lot of skill, but it's just a little bit of technique to do it properly so that your rope stays coiled and isn't a jumbled mess next time you try to pick it up. So there's two ways to do it. Since I got a small rope today, I'm going to just wrap it around my elbow. Really, the key trick is the way you tie it off at the end. So I'm going to wrap it around my elbow, grip in my hand this way. I just wrap it a few times. And then when you got about one coil left or so on a short rope, take it off your elbow, and then you want to wrap it high up like this a couple times. Make sure it's nice and tight, that wrap, so that the coil doesn't come uncoiled. And then you want to go reach through, grab the rope, and then the loop you just reached through, don't pull it all the way through. Keep that end and stick it through that little loop you just grabbed, and then pull it tight. And that way, your coil is going to stay, and your rope will stay nice and wrapped up. If you want to ensure that your rope stays a little tighter, try to save about 2 wraps in your rope, just so you can have a little bit more rope to work with at the end. Wrap it around a few times again. Reach your hand through, grab a little piece of rope, and then do the same thing again. This loop, and then finally send it through. And that basically makes a knot at the end of it, so that the rope doesn't somehow come untangled if you're putting it in the back of the truck, and the rope's going to get tossed around. If you're just setting it on the ground the way that I showed you the first time, the rope's not going to go anywhere. So I hope you paid attention, and I hope that this video was helpful. So make sure your ropes don't stay coiled for too long, because these knots, like, if anything, if you don't use them, you'll forget them. And then when you go to try the knot again, when you really need it, you won't remember how to tie it. So get practicing, and good luck tying those knots.